Hello viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So still on our training on Cisco Packet Tracer, today we'll be looking at inspect device in physical mode. Now some of these devices allows you to inspect both the front and the back of the device. So let's see an example of what I mean. So let's get some device like a switch. Okay, so let's get this switch. Let's get also a router. You can use any router at all. Okay, let me use this. Okay, we can add other maybe one more router, maybe one more switch. Remember, we have a table mount and a rack mount devices. Okay, so all these devices are rack mount device. How do I mean? So if I click on this physical and I zoom in, now if you see here, we have my router 1 and router 0 here, and I also have switch 2 and switch 1. Okay, so these are the devices I added, and they are all rack mount devices. Okay, so if I add any device like a desktop, okay, so desktop is a table mount device. So if I come back here, you'll see that the desktop is not mounted inside this rack. So if I zoom out, okay, if I zoom out, you see the desktop mounted on a table. Okay, likewise a laptop, I can easily add a laptop to the table. I can easily add a TV. Okay, you understand? So a tablet, and so most of these devices here are table mount devices. All right, so back to the physical inspection of these devices. So if we zoom out this rack, okay, right click on any of the device. Let's say this router 0, right click on it, inspect front. Okay, so you're going to have like a bolder information that will allow you to see both the expansion slot, the modules installed, and also the console and even the label of each of the ports you have on the router. Okay, so same thing can be done on the switch. Okay, so this is my switch. I can right click and inspect the front. Okay, now you can see the label numbers, you can see all the ports, and also you can see the gigabit ports. You can also see the model of the switch, so you can zoom in and also zoom out. All right, so you can zoom in and also zoom out to see them more clearly. So I can also do that with this particular switch. Okay, so inspect front. So you can see the fast Ethernet port that this particular switch have, and also the console and the aux port. And also you can turn on and turn off a particular device. Okay, you can turn on and turn off a particular device from here. All right, and also another thing that we'll be looking at is how we can connect one or two devices together. Now remember, this is the front part of this device. Okay, we can see the back of this particular device, so it allows us to see both the front and the back side of a particular device. Okay, so this is exactly how a real device look like. So this allows us to see only the front, and this allows us to see only the front, while this allows us to see, okay, only the front too. So some of the device allows you to see both the front and the back, and some allows you to see only just the front. Okay, so this I can see the back. Okay, so this is the back of this router. So it has the console, and also it has an aux port. I've explained the uses of some of these ports in one of my videos. I'm going to drop the link in the description below. So let's see how we can connect devices in this physical mode. All right, so for us to start connecting these devices, we need to activate the pegboard from here. Okay, so here we can add whatever type of cable we need. Okay, so it can be a straight through cable, it can be a console cable, it can be crossover cable or USB cable, whatever kind of cable you want to use to do your connection. So we can add them up right here. All right, so for these devices, Remember, I've explained the types of cable we have, so I'm not going to be wasting much time explaining types of cable in this video. But for these connections, I'm going to be using the appropriate type of cable to do my connection. All right, so this is a router and this is a switch. So for me to connect a router and a switch, I'm going to use a straight through cable. Okay, if I want to connect a router and a router, I'm going to use a crossover cable. So for this, I need a copper straight through. Okay, you can see the name here, copper straight through. So I'm going to drag it and drop it here at this pegboard, and I'm going to get a crossover also and drop it here. So you can get as many cable as possible and drop it at this pegboard. All right, so for me to connect the switch, so I have a switch here, and I have a router here. So for me to connect this switch and this router, I'm going to use a straight through cable. All right, so just click on the cable here and come to whatever port you want to connect it to and click on it. All right, click on the cable back and come down to the router and click on it. So the both devices are now connected together using a straight through cable. So if you need more cable, like maybe more straight through, you can add up to your pegboard. All right, so I want to connect this this particular switch and this router here. So I'm going to use a straight through, maybe from this port to this port, maybe this. All right, so this is how the physical so this is how the physical mode of and also many other things we can do here. So if I want to connect a switch and a switch, remember we're going to use a crossover. So click on this. Let's use the gigabit port. Okay, this switch does not have a gigabit port, so let's just use any of these fast Ethernet ports. So I'm going to click on this and add it to this particular switch gigabit port. All right, so I've connected these two devices together. All right, so in case you are done with your connection and you want to change your cable to another port, all you need to do is to come to that particular port your cable is already on, drag and drop it to the new port. So drag and drop to the new port. Okay, so you can drag and drop to this new port. You can drag and drop to any port at all. So same can be done on any of the devices. Okay, so just drag and drop to any of the ports. And also, if you want to remove a cable entirely, all you need to do is to come to this part. Okay, click on this delete and delete the particular cable, so it will come back to this peg board. Let's zoom out small. So like I said, you can add as many cable as possible in this pegboard. So you can add as many cable as possible for your connections. So remember also, you can also connect a desktop to your switch or maybe your router. All right, so from here I can click on this particular cable. So I have this device here. This is a computer, so I want to connect a computer with a router, so it's going to be a crossover cable. So from here I'm going to connect it to this particular router port. Okay, this is filled up. Let's use this router. I have only one router here. Okay, let's connect it to a switch. Okay, so we've connected this to a switch. All right, so we can also connect this laptop with a switch. So just come here, select a particular cable. So this is the fast Ethernet port here. So we can connect it to any of the switch at all. All right. So So let me say you want to do a configuration on your switch, so we can use the RS port. So I can get a console cable. So this is a console cable, right? So I'm going to connect it to this port here. So let me assume we want to configure this router. This is a router. So I'm going to get the console cable. It's a console cable. So click on it. Come down here. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Let me zoom. So this is the port we are working with. This is the console port, or this. Let's use this. Okay, so click on the console port and connect it. Come down to the RS port of your laptop and connect it. Okay, so from here you can do your configuration. So if we come back to this logical mode, you see that all this our connection is also affected in this part. All right, so this is the console cable used to connect to the laptop and the router. Okay, so let's zoom out. So there are many other connections you can do. Maybe your television to the switch. If you have a wired camera, you can also connect it to a switch, or maybe to a router. All right, like I said, we'll be going advanced in this Cisco packet tracer training. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, try and do that so that you'll be updated whenever I drop a new video. And also give this video a thumbs up if you have learned anything from it. Thank you guys, and see you in my next video.